Welcome back, Stingers. Today we're going to talk about why Scorpios like to observe you before approaching, right? So this is important to know if you have your eye on a Scorpio, if you're interested in one, because they already know who you are, especially if they're interested in you. They've been watching you for a minute, and they're really not the type to go around asking people about you, because then their business is extended. You see what I'm saying? Anybody I was ever interested in, I never told a soul. Never, ever. Because then now the information's out there and people, oh, what about this guy and that guy? Like, they get too excited. Other people get too excited. Especially if you're a private person, they really go nuts when you reveal just a tiny little bit. They don't know how to... They don't know how to handle Scorpios. They don't know how to handle information. They don't know how to handle certain things. So the information is kept to themselves, usually. But they've already peeped you out. And I'm going to tell you why. Why they don't just approach like other people, just blindly. And why that's not a good idea. And this is something that you can learn from Scorpios as well. So before a Scorpio will approach you, if they're interested, they would have already cased the building. The building being you. They've already peeped out a lot of things, because it's really important. It's important, especially for a Scorpio who likes to stay in power, to know your target before you engage. It's just like going to a job interview. It's like you're interviewing for a company, you don't know anything about the company. That's not gonna look so well when you interview. Then you can't ask the right questions. You can't really explain how you're gonna fit into what they're looking for. If I have as much information about you as possible, then I can engage with you better. You know what I mean? I know how to ask the right questions, and we know how to do it in the way that you don't know that we know. You don't know that we know all this stuff. We know how to just casually bring things up, or, oh, by the way, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I like that too. We're thinking like, I already know, because I already saw you at that concert 2 months ago with some guy that I know you broke up with, so I know you've been single for like a good minute. That's why I'm sliding through. See, we have all that worked out. We have all that worked out. So Scorpios like to stay in control by knowing as much as they can about you. And you can do the same. You can go and, Google your Scorpio or try and find information. But see, the thing that messes you guys up is you go running your big fat mouth and go asking people, you know this girl named Malika with the afro and the glasses? Well, I'm wearing my contacts now, but... And she's a writer, and she do that. Like, you run in your mouth. So then it's all out in the streets, and then it gets back to me. Oh, so-and-so was talking about you. And look, boom, I already think you're a big mouth, and I'm not going to fuck with you. Right? Scorpio knows how to be discreet with the information. And if they're not, there's a Scorpio who talks about me, but I like him, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But what I don't like is the person that he just mentioned something slightly just mentioned my name, just smothered it a little bit. He mentioned it to me, and I was like, you gotta... I didn't say anything to him, but I know that that's not the friend you should be talking to me about, because he already let me know that there's been conversation, which I don't mind, but he's got to check that person, or he's got to be a little quieter, because I shouldn't have known that he was talking about me. Do you see what I'm saying? Or asking about me, or mentioning me, or any of that stuff. I mean, I already knew, but I shouldn't have known in that way. It shouldn't have been obvious, right? So anyway, guys, Scorpios like to case it out because they like to keep their power, number one. Number two is to know how to handle you, or know if they even want to take it any further. They may see you out in the streets and be like, ooh, she's cute, la la la, right? But then they see you at a party, because they done snuck in, and they behind the scenes by the drinks and everything, squatting, and they see you kissing on some guy or flirting with a bunch of girls, or you doing all sorts of scandalous shit that you don't really do, maybe at the office or wherever y'all see, or at school, whatever. They're like, ew. And then they're totally turned off. They're like, oh, okay, we know what type of person that is. Or it can be a lot of different things. They could see you in a different light where you really come out of your shell, and they may not like the shell that you've come from. You know, the person that has emerged. They don't like that person. They may find out information about you that just doesn't fit into who they are. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when people are like, oh, follow me on Instagram. And then I look at their Instagram and they're sitting there smoking a blunt at like 45 years old. They still think that's cool. They got a bunch of kids, you know, they live in a place that I would never want to come visit. Now they're on unemployment. They talk about waiting for their stimulus check. Like I've already found out too much that I didn't want to know about you privately, which is why I do not give out my private Instagram where like I have family members and stuff on there. And even when I'm on there, if somebody kind of slid through, I'm not talking deep about things. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't even want the people on there that I went to college with and stuff to know certain stuff. So I keep everything kind of hush hush. But, you know, a lot of people do when they meet you, they're like, oh, Instagram, and they forget. Like, you could dig up stuff and then find out some horrible things. So, you know, Scorpios like to case everything out so they know what angle to hit. Now, this is important for you guys because you can be doing the same. And I know Scorpios, you know, are going to be a little bit difficult to find that out. A lot of us, well, us, I don't, but a lot of Scorpios that I do know have Instagrams where they post kind of leading things to put you off on a little trail. You're like, oh, he tells all his stuff. I'm like, no, he does not. Because what you're seeing is not really what's going on. It kind of gives you another story, but the real story is behind the slick, which is how we like to keep it. So don't think, you know, all the Scorpios, you know, they're throwing all their business out there, because even if they're a fluffy Scorpio, they still are ruled by Pluto and Mars, and they still have that Scorpio basis, and they're not going to tell you all of their business. But there are ways that you can investigate and really kind of know who you're dealing with. You know, if you're Googling and you don't find anything, obviously they've been very meticulous about keeping themselves hidden. You know, if you find out other things that you don't particularly like, you know, it saves you a whole relationship. So it's really something that's important. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, you know, they love to know about you, but you don't want that, you know, that's the way it is. We're the private ones, you know, go date a Libra. I always suggest that to you guys. Go date a Sag, go date a Gemini. You know, no one's making you date a Scorpio, but these are the rules. These are the rules. So we love to case people. And if you're dating one now, they've already cased you long before you even thought you met them. I know this, every Scorpio that I've had any type of relationship with have seen me all the time. They're like, oh, I used to see you all the time. You know what I mean? Even if I didn't really notice them, they were casing me out. They saw me. They watched my channel. They're following me on Instagram. I'm now on Facebook, by the way. They're following me on Facebook. They're following me wherever they can find me. They're trying to weave in and out of people that I know, people that I grew up with. They know how to do it. They know how to do it, you know, and they know how to use that information to their advantage. So Scorpios are using all the information that they have about you to their advantage. That doesn't mean it's negative information. Or being used negatively. It means that they're using it in a way that they can maybe, you know, get with you. Like if they find out things about me, like about my job that's off of YouTube, they're like, oh, look at this. They found out all my interests. Then, you know, maybe if they were to take me out, they'd, you know, kind of like, oh, let's go to this place. And I'd show them like, oh my gosh, I love this. Of course, they already knew because they peeped that. And so, there was a Scorpio that actually did that. I had a date with a Scorpio, and he took me to a museum that was all about fashion history and everything. And I was like, oh, we like that, you know? And I don't know how he found out. My roots were actually in corporate fashion since right after college. He could have figured it out because of the way that I dress, which is a little more eccentric. He could have figured out maybe I worked in fashion or something like that in my past. But I don't think he, you know, I think he just kind of Googled and found out that I did work for big fashion showrooms and companies and stuff like that. And he was like, oh, she might be interested in this. And I was. It was like amazing. It was like, I was like, yep. Never been done with any other sign. He literally got it all right, you know? And so that's a perfect example of how he peeped around for a little bit and used that to his advantage. Instead of, you know, taking me to a water park or something I wouldn't like, amusement parks and stuff like that, I would have been like, what the hell would make you think I want to go on a fucking roller coaster? Are you nuts? So anyway, guys, this is why we do it. We need that information, that grounding, that research, for a plethora of reasons. And you can use this too, guys. Don't just walk into an interview not knowing anything about who you're potentially going to be working with. Don't just walk into a situation thinking, oh, I'm going to like her and date her. You don't know that. You don't know if she just got off crack. You don't know if she's got 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. You don't know if she's got an ex following her, ready to murder her. Some people move from state to state. They got somebody coming in. I knew a Gemini who got shot in the head. The girl he was dating, the boyfriend, been looking for her for months. And he got caught up in the mix. I mean, he's still alive, but a piece of the bullet is still left in his head. Terrible situation. Terrible. Had he been a Scorpio, he would have knew that her ass was trouble. I'm like, oh no, we're not getting together, baby. You got people chasing you, trying to kill you. No. Anyway, like, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. I'll see you at ScorpioSunScorpioMoon.com, where you can buy this amazing, let me get close. This is the charmer. Can you see that? This lighting. Oh, it's good. There we go. Ooh, she's so pretty. I love wearing her. This is the charmer. It comes with matching studs. I have some amazing things coming into my shop. I just got it in. Oh my gosh. Some beautiful things I can't wait to share with you. I still have the spring giveaway going on where the winners, we have a few winners that I'm going to give a custom piece of jewelry to. It's never going to be in my shop. It's something that I had made specifically to help you guys feel good. It's a feel good piece. You can book a basic chart reading, love chart reading, couples chart reading, personal live stream session. If you guys have questions, a lot of you have been sending me emails. Honey, just go to ScorpioSunScorpioMoon.com and book a reading. I'll break it all down for you guys. You can book a personalized video if you want me to do a whole entire video on a topic of your choice, as long as it falls under my brand of Scorpios, astrology, self-esteem, and all that good stuff. And what else? I have some series that are coming on my website that are going to be extremely helpful to you guys. And I think that's it. All right, I'll see you soon.